Friday, June 26th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. And we have a great show for you guys today. Do us a favor before we get into things. Smash the like button, goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. We got Anthony Dabbundo coming on, breaking down the World Cup matches today, the World Cup matches tomorrow, and the sole World Cup match game on Sunday, the round of 32 game. South Africa versus Canada. We got all that and more coming at you today. Plus, we got some NHL draft today. And if you listened to this show 3 days ago, you're welcome for Ivor Stenberg on behalf of Alex Moretto. Stenberg now minus 1,000 to go second overall. If you were listening to the show, he was around minus 120, minus 160 over on FanDuel. Now minus 1,000. So you got some good numbers there. And apologies if you bet the number 3 overall pick. I told you be careful because it is correlated with Ivor Stenberg going second overall, but Caleb Malhotra plus 185 right now. Listen, if you have the minus money, I'm sorry. It was minus 115 yesterday. We've seen a ton of steam towards Chase Reed. We'll keep an eye on that and see how things goes throughout the show. Before we get into today, let's bring up the leaderboard yesterday because we absolutely crushed things. Yesterday, we were 6-2. Kanish almost came home with the last. Wait, I guess we were 5-3 because I was counting Kanish as a win, but Turkey ended up winning in the 90th plus 9 minutes. Turkey, USA draw dead. Kanish did not get there, but what a call from Jacob. The Paraguay-Austria 0-0 exacta, or the under half goal. The little handshake behind closed doors. That game was, I think, the 5th lowest expected goal game in the last 60 years of the World Cup. They knew what they were doing. Nobody wanted to score. They said, let's get this draw and let's go on to the round of 32. Bring back the leaderboard a bit. Still me and G-Stack going back and forth for first. We both picked up a win here. Netherlands team total over 2.5 comes home for G-Stack. My Sweden plus 1.5 comes home a little bit late, a little bit sweaty, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's get into the picks. Let's get into the picks for today. I actually haven't even seen the picks for today. All I know is mine. I'm riding Cabo Verde, the minus 230. I want them to qualify to the round of 32. The story of the tournament right there. I'm taking them at the plus half, minus 230. The double result on FanDuel, Cabo Verde and draw, minus 230. Rob is sticking to his corners bets. He likes Egypt over 3.5 corners, minus 138. Moretto likes Egypt. Double result, win, and draw there at minus 350. G-Stack likes France, plus the half at minus 500. He might get some good CLV there with this stuff coming out. Just got announced that Holland I believe, is taking a rest, and Odegaard will be on the bench for today. Seems like they will not be playing. New Zealand team total under a half, plus 108 for the Drunken Goon. Jacob likes Spain, minus 1.5, plus 200. TA with Mbappe first goal, plus 340. I love it. And then finally, Kanish again. Boring Senegal-Iraq draw, plus 600. This guy just keeps betting draws, and he keeps losing. We'll see if things go better for him today. Before we get into our first guest here, before we bring on Anthony, quickly, want to remind you guys, on the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle, because in matches like these, anything can happen, and now your bet can go the distance. If you take a look at the picks for today, Mbappe first goal. Listen, if Mbappe gets subbed off and there is no goal, your bet still continues for the first goal scorer. Now, is it going to be a better player than Mbappe going on the pitch? Probably not, but you still got a chance. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to get started now. Must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/China, Connecticut. Visit emptygambling.help.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. Call 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca in Ontario. All right. let's get things going here. Excited to break everything down for the last 2 days of the group stage. He's a writer and podcaster over at The Ringer. You can find his work on The Ringer. You should read his articles. I'm sure he's going to be dropping one probably Sunday around that time for the round of 32. I have no idea if that's the case. Well, let's hope that is the case because I feel like, he's not in the background. He will be. So go check out The Ringer on Sunday morning to go check that out. Anthony Dabbundo. Anthony, how's it going, my friend?
Well, keto lives, brother. Keto lives. The Ecuadorians are into the knockout round. My entire reputation was maybe staked on the idea that they were going to be a real contender to go deep in this tournament. And after a draw with Curacao, it didn't look to be the case. However, they beat the Germans, which made it my best betting day of the tournament. So I'm feeling great about that. USA, Turkey was an entertaining watch last night. I don't care that the U.S. lost. I had a lot of fun enjoying that match. And you mentioned the super sub promo. It's funny. 2 nights ago was Mexico, Czechia, and I had Gilberto Mora 2+ shots at FanDuel, and I had under 2.5. So I'm absolutely devastated when the third goal goes in deep in stoppage time.
Yeah.
Good change on that one. Tough beat. Then I realized that it was Fidalgo who scored the goal. And that was the second shot that gave me the win on the Mora bet because he came in for Mora. So just a crazy whirlwind. Definitely had more on the under than I did on the Mora prop. But either way, an interesting way to both be happy and sad at the same time.
Oh yeah, you get pulled in 2 different directions here. We've had a ton of fun with the super subs. We had Dzeko to score a goal in the final match day 3 for Bosnia and Qatar, and I don't know if you remember, he was offside for one and he scored. He hit the post, own goal, but then the guy who subbed on for him ended up scoring, so we ended up cashing. We were going pretty nuts there. Yeah, what a great sweat it was. It was incredible. I love the promo that they're doing. There's tons of ways to play it. And we found some good angles.
I had a heartbreaker match day 1. It was I bet the Ketelare with the expectation that Lukaku would come on for him, and then Lukaku scored maybe 20 seconds after he came on the pitch. But it was ruled an own goal. Yeah.
Oh man.
And then I also have the Ketelare top Belgian scorer. Now he has not scored yet. Nor has any Belgian. So really, we're live. Let's go. We're 7-1. Let's get one today, Charles.
I wonder if there's dead heat rules for that. Does it just void? I don't know how you dead heat.
I think I might be a loser if nobody scores, but I do think they'll get at least one today against the Kiwis.
I love it. All right, we'll break down all those games for today. Before we get into things, talk me through how you've been enjoying the tournament so far. Any big takeaways from the past couple of days? We already started. You touched on the USA and Turkey. Turkey does a good job in scoring some goals for pride. They've gotten really unlucky in the first 2 days, not scoring at all. Scored 3 against USA. Their XG luck catches up to them. Ecuador, of course, scraping through. Netherlands conceding in every game. Anything that's been on the front of your mind over the past couple of days?
Yeah, not a ton. I mean, I think we're setting up for a really, really fun knockout stage here. I know there are some matchups that maybe aren't the sexiest on paper, but the 4 that we pretty much know at this point, assuming Norway doesn't pull off a shocker with their backups today, is that we're going to get Norway and Ivory Coast. We're going to get Brazil and Japan. We're going to get Netherlands and Morocco. And we're going to get Ecuador and Mexico. With the potential to add England and Senegal to that list, the potential to add Portugal, Croatia, or Colombia, Croatia to that list. We're going to get some really uncompetitive round of 32 games, but we're also going to get 5 or 6 that are wow. And then the round of 16 potential, I was looking at it today, the same weekend of July 4th, next weekend, Germany, France, potentially. And then on July 5th, maybe it's England, Mexico, England, Ecuador, Brazil versus Norway. So there are going to be so many appetizing matchups before we even get to, the true business end of the tournament. So I think we've gotten what we wanted. We got enough drama and fun and surprise and not just straight steamrollers of all the favorites to the point where it's now enticing. However, I mean, we are in a world where if Belgium has a big win today and Egypt drops points, it could end up that the favorite wins every single group at the World Cup. So far, that has been the case. Belgium and maybe Portugal are the only 2 in real danger now.
Yeah, we'll break down those games as we get around to those groups. But we're going to start off with Group I to set the stage here. They're the first group playing today, playing around 4 p.m. Eastern time. We talked through, like you mentioned, Norway benching all their starters. I had a couple questions about this game coming into things, but I think we know where Norway lies here. My question was more so leaning towards France. Are they going to sort of do the same thing that we see Norway is doing? You think they're going to be resting starters? You think the guys who are going to be playing are going to be playing a full 90? Or do we think they're going to take it a little easy, maybe sub out some important players at around the 60-minute mark? How do you see this France-Norway game going? Is it just like, I don't know, is it just going to look like a pickup game of soccer, essentially?
Yeah, I do think this one could be pretty fun and high scoring. Now, France has looked a little bit shakier defensively to me than they were in past big international tournaments. You go back to Euro 2024, World Cup 2022. I thought they were much better defensively to the eye test and to some of the metrics. Now, again, you only play one real opponent and then Iraq, who was a little bit weaker. So you haven't really seen the defense get tested in the last match. But I thought Senegal really was able to get consistent box access to France, which is unusual against a France Deschamps team. They do not press, but they also do not allow you into their penalty area very often. So that has been a little bit interesting to me. And I think, we saw France change up the lineup a little bit. Deschamps went with, instead of Chouameni, he went with Kone against Iraq. And I thought that was interesting of a choice too, because Chouameni has been kind of the nailed on guy in the defensive midfield. So I do think you're seeing a little bit of slippage with their defense. However, I think Norway has major defensive issues, and they have basically compensated for that by taking a ton of risk and attacking in transition a lot. And that is a tough way to play against France because they're just not going to give you a lot of transition because they don't press. They're not going to overcommit, and they're going to just kind of let their front three, front four cook with nobody else taking chances. So I think France is still undervalued. I mean, I'm watching the number tick up as we sit here. If you don't put Haaland or Odegaard in this game, I mean, it was 59 cents at 1 p.m. this morning. Now it's up to 64. I think France should be close to minus 200. The thing with France is also, let's say they don't play Dembele or they give Olise a rest, right? It's like, oh, who are they bringing in instead? It's like, oh, Ryan Cherky and Bradley Barcola. Like that is not exactly a huge downgrade really at all in some sense. I mean, you can make a case that Barcola and Doué are pretty comparable, that Olise and Cherke are pretty comparable in terms of a chance creation. So I think France is gonna get to have the shackles off here, and we don't very often see this with a Deschamps team. I know he's not with the team today, but we don't often see them playing with the shackles off, and I think if they just do that, this game could be like a 3-1 type deal. So I have team total over. And I think France at 63, 64 is pretty good right now at the PMs, and I guess that's what minus 175, 180 at the sports books. I think that's good too. Honestly, I'm surprised this hasn't hit minus 200 yet.
Yeah, minus 185 right now on FanDuel. Of course, shop around that three-way money line there. Yeah, France team total over as well. Should be a fun game. Should be an exciting game for everyone to watch. I've been kind of clicking through scenarios to try and see if we can get better prices than the to win group prices. Can't find anything for France and Norway for Group I, but I do have some other stuff that I want to run by you in other groups, and we'll get to those in just a sec. Senegal and Iraq is the other game that's happening here. It's happening in our backyard. On my way into work, I saw a group of Iraq fans like in the park just cheering and getting ready and pre-gaming at like 9 a.m. this morning, so they're ready to go. Talk me through this match here if you see anything interesting play out. It seems like South Korea is going to be watching this match. You sent out a tweet a little bit earlier. South Korea is going to be having all their games played. They're going to be watching 3 matches very, very closely. This is going to be one of those matches. Talk us through what you think could happen in Senegal and Iraq and what South Korea needs in this game if they want to qualify.
Are we at a flat 2 here yet?
Give me a second here and I'll take a look.
I mean, it is going to be hard for me to not bet Iraq at a flat 2. As much as I've been down on them, and the market has very much made its point clear on Iraq at this tournament. I mean, Senegal against a pretty defensive team, asking them to be good in possession, given that they don't have any clear elite passers. They're very much a team that would prefer to get opportunities to get their runners into space. I know there's the whole like must win tax and all that gets added to this, but the opening line for this match when the tournament lines first dropped, and I know limits were lower, was Senegal minus 200. What have we seen from Senegal to warrant that price changing that much? And honestly, like Iraq was not good in either match, but they did have like a 25-minute stretch against Norway where they actually controlled the game a little bit. And they did have a 30-minute stretch until the second goal, which was a complete defensive disaster where they basically just passed it into their own net, where they were holding France out at a pretty good rate. So I just don't really think Senegal is just going to walk in here and walk out with a 3-goal win. The same way that, like, yes, Iraq is already eliminated, or not, they're not eliminated, but they're playing to try to win here. Like, there is a sense of pride on the line. And I do think that this market has gotten a little crazy. Yeah, it's a flat 2 now. Like, I'm going to be contrarian and say that I think Iraq is probably a bet for me at this point.
Yeah, Iraq.
I'm going to wait until closer to kick because I think we might get more Senegal money, and maybe I can grab 2.25. But this market loves Senegal a little too much here. They do need a 2-goal win to have any chance, but I don't think it's that easy for this team, especially because Senegal's defense has looked very quietly bad in this tournament. And it was bad in the warm-ups and the friendlies. I think there's some questions about if they give up 1, are they getting 4? Basically, my point being is that I'm at like 1.6 here, and I can't get close to 2.
Yeah, if we look around, I found a +2 on Iraq, minus 120 right now, so slightly juiced towards Iraq for this one. But as you mentioned, it seems like the motivation factor is coming into place for people.
Overtaxed in this one, yeah. I mean, Norway didn't even close 2. Norway closed a shade under 2 in that game, and like was probably lucky to cover it. Based on how that run out happened with the one Holland goal where he presses the goalie into an air. And look, I know that's now happened twice, so Iraq could just keep doing that every game and just donate a goal to the opponent. But at 2, I'm Iraq there.
All right. Leaning towards Iraq for this one. Let's flip over and talk Group H, which is a fun and interesting group. Spain right now is through pretty much with 4 points. Uruguay and Cabo Verde both stuck on 2. They both will likely advance with a draw, so they're playing for that. Saudi Arabia needs a win to have any shot to advance whatsoever here. The group winner here plays either Austria or Algeria. It's shaping up to most likely be Spain versus Austria, Algeria. The runner-up is stuck in like the tougher side of the bracket. So there could be a scenario where like Uruguay finishes 3rd and is like kind of lucky in terms of where they land. Let's start with the Uruguay and Spain match. My question more so here is, we've seen Spain ramp up in the first 2 games with their players. I'm wondering about Yamal. I'm wondering about Nico Williams. Does Spain really care about finishing first in their group? Is that what they're pushing for? Do you expect these guys to sort of be ramped up and play more minutes than we've seen them play in the past, getting ready for the knockouts? And do you think Uruguay has a shot to draw here? Like, they kind of need to draw or win to make it through. Talk me through this match.
Yeah, I think the general sentiment on Uruguay has probably been a little too negative based on their first 2 games. Now, I was not that high on them coming in, but it is a vastly different experience trying to play against Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde and the low block they are built to, or not built to break down, versus this kind of matchup where you're going to have space in behind to exploit. You have the opportunity to be the destroyer in the matchup. You can just blow up midfield with your press. You can foul a lot. You can do a lot of the dark arts and the Bielsa ball of chaos maxing in this match. And I do think that if you're Spain, this is not the match where you want Lamine Yamal going all out, right? They do have bigger fish to fry. And Spain, I think, if this game is 1-1 late, right? Who's pushing for that goal? And I don't know that it's Spain, and I don't know that Uruguay isn't happy to try to take the point, because that 3rd point does get them above South Korea and Scotland. You're not guaranteed to advance at that point, but you wouldn't feel too out of the question. A win, of course, wins in the group. But yeah, I mean, I think Uruguay will feel decent about their chances at a 0-goal difference, especially because they'll know the Senegal result too, right? So there's a world where, let's say Senegal wins by 1 or 2, you can get ahead of Senegal as well. Now you're ahead of 3 teams, and your odds of advancing are better than not going into tonight's matches. So I'm tempted to play tie. I did bet under 2.5 at -130 because I don't think Senegal's attack is going to be, or Uruguay's attack is going to be able to create a ton. And I do think that Spain will be very cautious with Yamal and with Williams. And I don't really trust this Spanish attack otherwise. As crazy as that sounds, as good as they looked in the first half against Saudi Arabia, without those 2 guys, they are just a more limited team. So I think it's probably like a half to an hour for Lamine, but we did see a ton of market movement toward Uruguay this morning. I'm not sure what was driving that.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there with how Spain's looked. Oyarzabal, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
Oyarzabal.
Oyarzabal, thank you. has left a lot to be desired with him as striker. A lot of people liked him to win the Golden Boot. They're a very popular pick, and he hasn't really looked too great in this tournament so far. As much fun as Uruguay and Spain will be, I'm going to be watching both games, but Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia is going to be another fun match. Listen, we didn't get chaos yesterday, but I'm always one to root for chaos, and I'm looking at the group prices right now on FanDuel for Group H winner. Cabo Verde right now is 30-1. So you're saying there is a chance. Also, I clicked around a bit for Cabo Verde to advance with they would need either a Uruguay win or a Uruguay-Spain draw. If there was a draw, they would need to get like 6 goals. Let's be honest, that's probably not happening, right? So I found a parlay where you just get Cabo Verde minus a half goal and Uruguay to win, and you can get that 35-1, which is actually better than the 30-1 offered. And there's a scenario where that happens and they actually don't finish first in the group. So if you want to play a little bit of Cabo Verde to finish first in the group, you're better off playing that parlay. Talk me through this match here. Will Cabo Verde show signs of life? Will they be able to score and win and advance to the round of 32 here, basically guaranteeing themselves with a win, a round of 32 match?
Yeah, I could never bet Cabo Verde at this price. This is a massive, massive adjustment from the pre-tournament numbers that I don't think is entirely warranted. As much as I was impressed by Cabo Verde's defensive heroicism against Spain, and honestly, like in the second half against Uruguay, just general defensive competence, this price is a vastly different one than the one we saw pre-tournament. I mean, I bet Saudis to finish last in this group at plus 140, and they were priced pick 'em minus 165, 170 in the look-ahead numbers. Now we're all the way down at even. I think it is hard to make the case based on XG. I know Spain, Saudi Arabia got destroyed by Spain. They had to play against Lamine Yamal and the other team didn't, right? And then ball go goal is a big part of this as well. Cabo Verde also has no incentive to win this match. A draw is going to be enough, almost certainly for them. Same case as Uruguay, but also in the sense that a draw is probably going to get them second in the group. Now, a matchup with Argentina is not easy, but Cabo Verde comes into this match sitting on the back foot automatically, I think. And like maybe they can play on the break here. They scored 2 goals that were absolute scams, if we're being completely honest. In the match against Uruguay, they looked very little like scoring against Spain in the first match. So I don't really trust them to come from behind if they have to. So I can't play pick 'em minus 110. I know it's out there, and I know it's a popular pick, but no thanks. I'm happy to play the under again. Under 2.5 minus 130. I think that there was a series of miracles that led to that Uruguay game ending 2-2, including Muslera throwing a couple into his own net. And that with the competent goalkeeping here, like this game should be pretty low event. And I think it's a draw. And then Saudi's pushing for a goal late. Maybe they get one, maybe they don't. So that's my pick. But I think we've gotten a little over our skis on Cape Verde now in the market with this price. So I'm going to pass.
All right, fair enough. Passing there, I did pick them for our little contest that we're running here at the Hammer.
I think they'll get the draw.
Like win draw.
I'm not betting it, but I think draw 1-1 draw, 0-0 draw. Good with me.
I'm happy with that as well. One thing I'll say after we're through 2 groups, if you can consider this and help me think through this here, we've been looking for as a group, sort of teams that are in need of a win or a draw, where maybe if they go down early or if they're drawing late, guys who would come out and get subbed on, because a lot of these like left backs, right backs who are going to be subbed out and will be subbed on for attacking players. And I think there's actually like some angles to play in this.
You know which one is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you have any ideas, of course, share it with us as we run throughout the rest of the groups here. Let's move on to Group G. Egypt is ahead 4 points, again, essentially through 4. The magic number is 4 if you want yourself a guaranteed pass into the round of 32. Iran and Belgium are both sitting on 2 points. Let's start with the Egypt versus Iran game in Seattle. A lot of controversy in there. I don't want to get into that stuff. I just want to talk about the game itself. Egypt have any motivation? Are they going to be pushing for first place here? Do they ease off? Are they just kind of, they're pretty much guaranteed here? Are they going to be gunning for first, or are they content with a draw or I guess a loss here versus Iran?
Yeah, I mean, my thing with Iran, and I thought this went under discussed because everybody was talking about Belgium. The second half of Belgium-Iran, the second match, I thought Iran looked really leggy. I thought they looked kind of gassed. And despite going up a man, right, they get the red card off of the Belgium defensive error early in that second half. And you're like, okay, Iran's going to go take this game now and create some chances. They created like nothing and Belgium actually had more of the ball down a man against Iran. And like Belgium's a good possession team, but not that good, right? Belgium doesn't have the ball winning abilities to take it off Iran if Iran was able to keep it. And I thought that was a little bit alarming to me because Iran is one of the oldest teams in the tournament. And they're on this crazy travel schedule. Now, I know they were able to get into Seattle. They got an exemption or whatever. They're able to get into Seattle earlier than they have in their past matches. But still, I do think the travel's adding up for Iran. And having to go back and forth from Mexico all the way up north now to Seattle, it's like a pretty big travel gap compared to Egypt. Egypt's a much younger team and honestly has looked like a much better team to me. Just based on the two matches that they played. I mean, Egypt took control of that match against New Zealand pretty effectively, tilted the field on them in a big way in the second half. Compare that to Iran, New Zealand, which was a pretty much dead toss-up. And then even, again, against Belgium, they got a half up a man and still put in a worse performance by adjusted XG than Egypt did. So Egypt is playing for something here. They need to, win locks up the group for them, gets them in that favorable section with the United States and potentially South Korea or maybe Senegal or maybe Algeria, right? They want to be in that section. And they're, plus 140 here. I'm tempted to lay it. I'm tempted to play a second half Egypt. I think Iran is going to have, again, Iran will know what happened in the Uruguay match, what happened in the Cape Verde match. So they'll know kind of like what their positioning needs to be. And Senegal, these teams do start to get an advantage. So can Iran like park the bus and pull off a draw? Like, sure. But I'm tempted to lay Egypt here, like quarter goal or money line. I think they're the side. And I'm kind of down on Iran relatively right now.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. The teams that are playing later in the day, like essentially the teams that are in the later groups have a massive advantage because they're going to know where they play or where they lie in the round of 32. Whereas obviously the teams that played first have no idea. Right. It's like such a toss-up.
If Senegal doesn't get there, right? If Senegal doesn't get to even goal difference, 3-goal win, and Uruguay loses to Spain, right? We now have two groups that would be behind Iran. So Iran would know with Scotland, South Korea, Uruguay, and the early game today, Senegal, that a draw with 0 goal difference, 3 points, 0 goal difference is the cutoff. You are in. There are already 4 teams below you. Don't have to worry about Congo. Don't have to worry about, Ghana or Croatia tomorrow. None of that matters. It's like, we know we're going to be ahead of at least 4 teams with Scotland, South Korea, Senegal, and Uruguay. But the math can change quickly. If Senegal wins by 5 today and Uruguay gets a result, all of a sudden Iran has to go for the win because 3 points and no goal difference
is not good enough.
Not going to be enough. So they're going to know a lot. And like, obviously the same is true for Austria and Algeria tomorrow night. Like they're going to basically know the exact score that will get both of them through. And I literally think draw is good to any number in that game. You could not, if you made it minus 180, I would still say I would not take the other side. I genuinely think, especially since now, like you lose that match, you're out for both, including Austria, even with their goal difference. So potentially. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel on that whole thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, that's it. So like, I think, game theorying this out, keep an eye on the markets, all that stuff. It's very fun. It's incredibly confusing for somebody who's not locked in, but it's still like, I would love to see how the numbers will change potentially depending on what happens this afternoon. But either way, I like Egypt. So
do you have an internal tool that you're using to sort of like project this stuff out? Is there an online tool? What?
I had one, but it broke. And I don't
timing.
feel like it broke. I had something going and then something got broken in it. And I was like, you know what, the amount of work I'm gonna have to do, this is going to change like 8 times. I'm just going to like rough it and try to like, generate. I have like a table in it. Now I can just drag it manually. It's not as sexy as the percentages like the Athletic has up. They have better projectors and modelers than I am apparently. So yeah.
No, well, I don't know if they're better projectors or modelers. They're probably maybe it's just the
I'm already moving on,
stuff
man. I'm working on my round of 32, 16 and quarterfinal projections. I can't do this like in South Korea's actual odds, 48 or 42% to advance. I'm moving on from that. I'm just trying to rough it out.
All right. I love it there. And I think that's the best way to go about things, almost like pencil and paper this out and like write down the scenarios because you're good. Like there's going to be, like I've been saying this all tournament, like in tournaments like these, in these like things that happen only once every couple of years. There's opportunities to be had if you have if you keep your eyes open and if you're looking around in the right spots. You just got to pay attention, keep your eyes peeled, and be quick. And if you think about this stuff a little bit more than the sports books are doing, then you're going to find some good edges there. You mentioned the Austria-Algeria game. We saw like something similar yesterday with the Australia and Paraguay game. The behind closed doors handshake 0-0 draw. We're okay with that, and then we just move on to the next round. Let's talk through the Saturday slate here. Group L leading the way. England is up in the group right now. They're at 4 points. Ghana right behind them as well, with 4 points. Panama versus England. England wins the group with a win versus Panama. They're probably likely to win the group. They want to obviously stay ahead of Ghana on goal differential, but they have a probably easier matchup here. How do you see England approaching this one? This is just going to be like an absolute beatdown of Panama here.
Yeah, man, Panama has not been bad. I mean, I think it's worth saying that like they were better than Ghana for most of that game. They were pretty even-ish with Croatia for a lot of that game. Now, I think they find themselves running into a wall trying to score on England, but I mean, I think they can hang around. I'm surprised to see this total all the way at 3.25. Especially since England doesn't really need to like run up a score here. Saka and Rashford's minutes have been kind of weird throughout the tournament. Did they get them a start? Maybe. Do they play them a half? I don't know. I actually have no bets for this group. This is probably the least interesting group of the whole entire tournament because we kind of know all three teams are going to advance unless Ghana pulls off a shock win. And in Ghana, we know Kiros, like they're going to set up not to win. They're going to set up to just like grind out a draw and maybe steal one. But, I don't find I'm totally in line with the market on Croatia. I think if anything, under 2.25 is probably still good in Croatia, Ghana. But I have no opinions on this group. All my opinions on Saturday are in the same group, which is that, again, the draw is literally good to any number. In the Algeria-Austria game, I played under 3 Argentina-Jordan. I got to run here in a minute. So I got under 3 Argentina-Jordan. Don't think we see a ton of Messi. I think they're going to manage his minutes, and I think they're still the second best defense at the tournament. And then if you're not already invested in a Colombia future, plus a half against Portugal, this is the market price. I thought these teams were within a quarter goal of each other, coming into the group. I still think that now. So the fact that we're getting a full half on Colombia is a bet for me. I'm excited for that match. That's the number one match everybody's waiting for, right? So, yeah.
All right, going to be a lot of fun. Apologies, didn't know you had a heart out here at 12:35. I'll let you go. You can follow Anthony on Twitter at Anthony Dabbundo. Link is in the description down below. Anthony, appreciate you in the chat also mentioning from TQ. Anthony is great info and very likable. I think we all agree with that one. Anthony, thank you for joining us. We'll chat soon.
I'll happy to come on next week. We can talk knockouts. Maybe review your Canadians. I am low on Canada relative to the market.
Quickly, I know you have to get out, but right now, sorry about this. Plus 242 for South Africa to advance, minus 282 for Canada to advance. If you had to pick one right now, what will you be clicking?
South Africa.
Oh my
but
God,
I'm not. I mean, I'm like plus 220.
Okay, fair.
So like not a huge edge, but okay. Canada as a front runner for me is still a vulnerable team, and South Africa was competitive. Like their last 2 games, they were good. The first game was a disaster, but like they were kind of architects of their own demise, and I think the moment got to them. They're better than people thought. I don't know that it's a full minus 290 was getting kind of crazy when I saw that. So
yeah, and I'm under firm belief that Alphonso Davies is not playing in this match. So again, that might throw things wrench in things as well.
Definitely not the full match. I mean, maybe he comes in for a cameo, but yeah.
We'll see if that happens. Anthony, I'll let you go. You can get out of here. Follow Anthony on Twitter at Anthony Dabbundo. Thank you for joining us, Anthony. We'll chat soon.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff there. Go follow him on Twitter. Link is in the description down below. Keep your eyes peeled on Sunday because he's going to be dropping an article on The Ringer breaking down the round of 32. I'm sure he'll be having, like you mentioned there, round of 32, round of 16 projections. You're going to want to check that out. Anthony's one of the good guys there on Twitter. Always fun. Always excited to have him on. No, don't worry, don't worry, Charles. No Pele slander. No Pele slander. All right. Before we head out here, I don't really have much. Didn't prepare any anytime goal scorers. If you want them, you know where to be. Be in the Discord and just tag me. If you tag me, I'll send them to you. If you don't tag me, I'm not sending them in. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. A couple other angles I want to mention. If you want Iran to win the group, if you like that, I don't like. Listen, Anthony mentioned he doesn't really like it that much, but if you like it, it's plus 700 at some spots. I believe it's plus 900 on FanDuel. Let me just double check this price here. It's plus 700 right now on FanDuel. You can play some parlays that give you sort of a better shot or a better number than this plus 700 here. You can combine in Iran minus 1.5 goals at plus 1,000 and New Zealand plus 1.5 goals. That's plus that's 28 to 1. If you bet that and then bet Iran to win and New Zealand double chance at 18 to 1. If you math out the to win amount, it gives you a better number around plus 950-ish versus that plus 700, which is out there. I'm always trying to dig and find any angles for you guys. So if you are interested in that, make sure you are clicking appropriately. Also, happy Gavin McKenna Day. Charles, I appreciate you. If you are a hater and you think Gavin McKenna is not coming to the least, there is generational money to be had. Number 1 overall pick, the field, 33 to 1. And if you think he's going to go second overall, he is also 33 to 1 to go second overall, Gavin McKenna. If you think the Leafs are getting Stenberg, you can click away, my friend. Before we head out here, let's see if we've seen any crazy Malholtras. No Malholtras steam. Chase Reed is still minus 220 to go third overall. Now, I will say one of the better mock drafters, one of the most accurate mock drafters in Corey Pronman did release his final mock draft today. And he had, of course, McKenna, Stenberg 1-2. He did have Chase Reed third overall going to Vancouver. He said the number 3 spot has belonged to Caleb Malhotra throughout the lead up to the draft, and I do believe Vancouver has a ton of passion for the player, but the Canucks have also been quite high on Reed. As we've inched closer to the draft, my hunch is that is the direction they'll go. One thing I will note, he said, I could see either player being picked here, though. I could see either player being picked here, though. So if you think there is a chance, you get some plus money there. Maybe we get a better number closer to the draft. I'm going to be honest. Maybe I'm being stubborn. I'm going to be clicking Caleb Malhotra. I'm going to be waiting closer to the draft, or once I see things steam, then I'll be after it. I'm also going to try and do a little bit more work for you guys on some totals here. I'll send some messages around. I'll ask some people around if they have some good opinions on this stuff. FanDuel has some positions on players, draft positions over and under. They also have top X pick. They also have top 5 pick, top 10 pick, top 32 pick. I'll send this stuff in the Discord. Also, the Ruck Twins, I still think Steam from plus 900 to plus 600. I still think that is good as well. Plus, they have head-to-head matchups if you're interested in the NHL draft. Mike, you wanted to jump in here?
Yeah, I was just going to say, back to your Ruck Brothers thing, they also have combined draft position. I don't know if you saw that as well.
I did see that. I'd be hesitant to play that because all bets are standing, and they only have the range from 60 to 83.
Yeah.
So there's a scenario there where you're outside of that range, and it's unfortunate. You like if Ruck gets drafted, I guess there is no scenario if he gets drafted. If one of the brothers gets drafted 30th, he's mocked to go 30th right now by Pronman. So the better brother, I think it's Liam, is the better brother. Who knows? Anyways, Liam and Marcus Ruck. I still think the plus 600 for them to get drafted by the same team is a good click because, like I said, the Liam is projected to be a mid to late first. Marcus is projected to be like a mid second, and with how similar a lot of these prospects are, there's such a glut of prospects around like the early to mid second. I think a team is more than happy to reach on Marcus if they draft Liam early in the second round. That team might be Calgary, that team might be St. Louis, that team might be Vancouver. I wish we could have exactas because I'd be betting Calgary. For the both brothers to go to Calgary, that'd be a lot of fun. Anyways, let's head out here. I don't think there's any more things we have covered.
Hit the books.
Yes, I forgot about those guys. I did forget about those guys.
Who will be the best player in this? Sorry, do hit the books first.
Yes. Quickly here, hit the books. It's not a live video, pre-recorded video, new video out today. If you can't get enough college football, Brad Powers, Kanish, they're back. They'll be dropping a video 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Hit the Books YouTube channel. Go check it out. They're talking about looking at the best games of the year. So covering the best games of the year, probably sharing their opinions on side and totals if they're posted for that. Yeah. Go check it out. Good stuff there. Charles Saul, who will be the best player in this draft after McKenna? Stake your claim right now. Mike, I'll let you go first.
No, you go first.
All right, I'll go Ivor Stenberg just because he is the second overall pick. I've done zero prospect work.
So have I.
You can talk to me about. Actually, no, I actually don't know much about next year's draft either. Just
Landon Dupont. Who's gonna be like? It's been Stenberg and Gavin McKenna this year. Who's gonna be like side by side with Dupont? Obviously, it's very early, but.
If you remember, like around this time last year, Verhoff was getting all the steam of being like, people were talking about Verhoff could have gone like first overall.
Top, yeah.
Like we have no idea 1 year out. There's 4 or 5 names that I've seen floated around. I have no idea the quality of the draft. I am not a prospect guy, but I do know some people who are prospect guys. So I will try and feed you guys as much information
Best
as
player
I
in
can
the draft. I'll say
on
Chase Reed.
that. All right, Chase Reed. There you go. Before we head out, going to drop a little bit of a bomb here. You can sign it, you can seal it, you can deliver it. Bobrovsky is going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf come July 1st. Just remember that, guys. There's no markets on it, unfortunately, but it sounds like Bobrovsky is our guy. So fingers crossed that things go well. Yeah. Hashtag Insider Jason. I'm confirming it right now.
Hashtag what the ruck.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been the Friday, June 26th edition of the Hammer Daily. Shout out to Anthony Dabbundo. Shout out to Mike working his way behind the board. Shout out to you guys tuning in. Smash the like button here on the channel, from your new channel as well. Hit that subscribe button. Do us a huge favor. Sunday, Canada plays. Let's all root for Canada. All right? So then we can get around a 16 match. Also, we're going to figure it out for next week. I believe we're going to be doing watch-alongs. If you want us to do watch-alongs, let us know in the Discord or let us know by commenting on this video. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been the Friday, June 26th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here next week.